Hey, welcome back to Don't Run with Scissors. I'm Kelly, your favorite Jeep driving lawyer, mom of twins, 4 crazy rescue dogs, a rescue cat, 3 rescue guinea pigs, who likes to craft in her spare time, has gone back to school to learn ASL, and is trying to train for Ironman. And if you're new here, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button. It sends me a message, it boosts my serotonin and my self-esteem, and I could really use that. And if you're returning, you already know the crazy you're in for, so sit on back after you've grabbed your drink, and let's have at it. Um, this is probably about the 15th time I've tried to record this video. Um, and hopefully this will be the winner. Because if not, I give up and I'm just going to post a quick little blurb that says, be back next year. And then I'm going to disappear to like the coast of Costa Rica. Because yeah. Um, so life update. Last week was a little bit insane. Um, I got back from StitchCon. I did not bring back the COVID, and I am okay with not bringing back the COVID. And sorry, I'm wearing a handmade dress, which is great, but it's got a big ruffle on the bottom, and it's giving me so I have to go and interpret in court today for my mentor, and I'm feeling a little with that extra ruffle. It's a little bit like duster moo style, and I feel like if I took the ruffle off, I would like it and be much more comfortable in it. And I just realized that there's a little hole in the seam between the dress and the ruffle, and the seam would still be fine even if I took off the ruffle. I wouldn't need to run it through the sewing machine, which is always a big fear because me with pulling out my sewing machine lately, that's not been happening. Um, and I don't want to have to change clothes for court because, yeah. So who knows what I'm going to do. But I either have to commit to taking off the ruffle completely or leave it be until after I'm done wearing it. And this is the dilemma in my life at the moment. And welcome having to life with Kelly, having ADHD and a touch of OCD and a lot of anxiety. I'm like a emotional cucumber who's probably dehydrated. Okay, so, and I probably should have ironed up here so that, yeah, so it should go like this, which I think is a little weird, but a friend of mine made it, and then she was selling off, and it's comfortable. It's comfortable if I'd stop dicking around with things. Okay, anyways, I digress. Okay, so got back from StitchCon. I've slept. I don't know if it's just like the hangover from StitchCon. We've had some storms, which has driven my head absolutely bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. Um, and then Thursday, Paul left the house to take Bean to class and promptly fell in my driveway behind my Jeep. He got admitted into the hospital, and while I hate to sound uncaring, I kind of don't care because I'm to the point where I actually told him I was done and I was starting the formal eviction process. And so yeah. So now he's mad at me because one, I'm evicting him because 3 months is now turned into 9 months and I'm just done. And he's also mad because I wouldn't run a bunch of stuff down to the hospital to him. Well, here's the thing. He has decided to use Beaumont Royal Oak, which I no longer associate with Beaumont Royal Oak. That's neither here or there. But to get to Beaumont Royal Oak, he made the ambulance. They could have gone up the one road here and gone to McLaren Oakland. I think it's McLaren, Oakland. Could be whatever. It is McLaren, Oakland. They could have gone down Woodward. They would have passed 2 hospitals that way. So that's already 3 hospitals closer. We could have gone to Beaumont Troy, which would have been closer, or we could have gone to Ascension Providence Crittenton, which still would have been closer. That's 5 hospitals that they've passed to now take him to Beaumont Royal Oak. One of us on this video ain't got time to drive 40 minutes to go give somebody something when they're not grateful. So he's mad at me. Guess what? I'll get over it. I am behind on homework. I am behind on a lot of things. I just honestly just needed a break this weekend. I worked late on Friday. I did pull some hours in on Saturday and stuff. So I've just been working very hard, which is good. I still have a ton more work to do. Before I start interpreting today, I have to file a bunch of documents with the court, so that'll be good. Yeah. So while he's been gone, my son also went this weekend up to Caseville with my mom. So Caseville and Port Austin are up in the tip of the thumb. They're actually the very tip of the thumb in the Mitten State here. And they had music on the porch music. And then it was also Chicken Wing Fest or something. I don't know. I don't know. My mom was telling me, I was like, what? They went up there for music on the porch. And so through Port Austin, what will happen is you can kind of like stroll the main street sort of area, and different musicians will be playing on the porch. So it's kind of cool. And they have a schedule for most of them and whatnot. So that's kind of cool. And it's up my son's alley. So they went up and they are returning at some point today. That's all I know. I thought last night, but turns out no. My mom decided she didn't want to deal with the traffic of all the vacationers coming back. And it's just easier, since neither one of them had much to do today, that they were just going to come home today. That's fine, except for I didn't realize that when I saw, so he had his first, not his first, he's had a handful of interviews. So he interviewed for a receptionist position at the Harley Davidson dealership over in Farmington Hills. What I didn't realize is that that's like a 40-minute drive one way in the opposite direction of my office. My son doesn't drive. So I hope he gets the job, but at the same time, like, I'm not going to be heartbroken if he doesn't, because that's a heck of a lot of driving on me. And it's Monday through Friday from 10 to 5. So how's he going to get there right now if I have court in the morning in Macomb County, or anywhere for that matter? Because Macomb County is 40 minutes the other direction from my house. And then, like, on Tuesday, if he doesn't get off work till 5, that's great. I start classes at 4. At least for the next couple weeks, because my class is only 10 weeks, and I think we're now on week 6 or 7. And then I don't remember what my fall schedule is. I think I have class only on Wednesdays and Fridays. But then, like, Bean has class on Wednesday and Thursday this summer. So he would just have to go right from work to sitting with me for Bean's class, because I don't have time to get him home and then her to class. And it doesn't make sense, because that campus is actually, it would be closer to where he works. So yeah, so that'll be interesting to figure out those logistics. Hmm. Um, the other thing is they were asking him how much salary wise he wanted. Now he knows his rent here is $500. So he told them anything over $500 a month would be good. So God bless him. I really hope he marries well someday. So he tells me this, and I go, William, let's do the math on that. I go, 10 to 5 every day is 7 hours a day, which means you're probably getting a paid half-hour lunch. And he goes, yeah. And I go, okay. I go, so 7 times 5 is 35. I said, now take 500 and divide it by 4. And I said, so you're roughly, that's 125 a week. I didn't even bother boggling his brain about Social Security, taxes, or anything, right? I'm like, I'm just strictly going, you want $500 a month and take home. He said, so take that 125 and divide it by 5. And I go, so that's $25 a day that you want. I said, now 25 divided by 7 is how much? And he's like, just over $3. And I go, there are starving kids on the Sarah McLachlan commercials that are getting sponsored for more than $3 a day. And he's like, oh, yeah. And he goes, well, I did also tell them that what they had listed on Indeed, that price range was acceptable. Like I would be willing to work for that. And I go, and what is that? And I go, well, in like the $15 to $17 an hour range. And I was like, yeah, because $3 an hour. I was like, for $3 an hour, I'll hire you. I go, I was deducting $6 an hour for the work you were doing at the office, at my office. And I said, and when you were doing it actually really well, I was considering bumping it up to 10. I said, but I figure I get a family discount because, I'm your mom and I drive you, and yeah. And so, yeah, don't let me work for essentially $3. You figure once they factor in taxes and insurance, and apparently they offer quite a bit of nice insurance, that essentially probably about $5 an hour. So yeah, and then the lady who was interviewing him, one of the people who was interviewing him, was telling him how one of the responsibilities was to like keep a tally of the people who walk through the door, like how many people come through the door, and then were they greeted within 30 minutes, within 30 seconds, I think, and did they get paired up with a sales associate? And I said, I go, do you get to draw like little stick figures to make that happen, like to keep tally, like? And he goes, Mom, that's what the woman said she's doing. She goes, and then she told me that sometimes she can't keep track of all of that data at once. Like she just doesn't know what happens to them, like once they leave kind of like her peripheral vision. And so she just makes up the data. Well, I can't make this stuff up. So I was like, oh, well, that seems a little less than effective. So yeah. By the way, I have decided that the ruffle needed to go, and yeah, um, yeah. So um, so there was that. So he did that on Friday, and then they went up north. And during that time, Bean and I have been hanging out. So Oreo, our deaf dog, for those of you who are new here, Oreo is our new dog that we rescued on Mother's Day, who is deaf. Okay. Oreo is a healer, which is a cattle dog. So he's a working dog. And he's a puppy still, because he's not quite 2. He'll be 2 in January. So he's 18 months. When he gets bored, he's very mischievous. And that dog can get into trouble faster than most children. Um, and so I am looking, and he ate my pair of sandals that I've had for less than a month. That I think I've had for 2 weeks now. He ate one of those. He keeps dumping the chair over on my table. He likes to chew on the handle to the sewing machine case. I have bought him chew toys. I have bought him things. Apparently, I am not buying him the right activity toys. So if anybody, and Kim, I heard you loud and clear Thursday night when we talked. So I have a list of the questions I will be asking during the show, and I will put those in the little box below. We'll see how long that lasts. So if you know of any toys that may be fairly indestructible but not cost me an arm and a leg, that may keep my sanity, that Oreo won't destroy right away, that would be fantastic. If you could pop those below or message me, that would be great. The other thing that I need to know, so we had all that, and then Lizzie, my big girl, she jumped off my bed and promptly fell, and that is terrifying because for those of you who don't know about Lizzie, Lizzie is my 100-pound cane corso who is about 15 years old. And that's really old for a dog her size and her breed. Really old. And I wake up every morning terrified that I'm going to wake up and her having passed through the night like Keegan did. And so I know it's probably late in the game, but I think she would benefit. She's fine. She's fine. Um, she's been fine ever since. So she limped a little. She like kind of had to shake it off for a little bit, but like within the same day, she was fine. So I'd like to start her on glucosamine. Do you know, is glucosamine for dogs the same as like the same stuff that I would give a person? Does that make sense? Like, or is it like special dog glucosamine? Um, the other thing is with 4th of July, this one I kind of need urgently. I'm looking, somebody said she does not like fireworks. Oreo's not bothered by them. The benefit of Oreo. Oreo also wasn't bothered by the thunder the last couple days. Where the other dogs are a little bit more anxious about that kind of stuff. So they're supposed to make a dog peanut butter that has CBD oil in it, kind of medicate them. Does anybody know where I might be able to find that? I did not see it at Petco. So if you have a link for that would also be great. I'll add that to my list. That was because Lizzie won't wear clothes. So to tell me to get one of those thunder jackets or whatever, she won't let me put it on her. So that ain't gonna happen. So, but she will eat, well, she won't eat plastic cheese. She'll take it from you really gently, but she won't eat it. Okay. So the only other thing that I have on my list of questions to ask at this point See, Kim, I've got a list, and I will put that below so that you don't have to worry. Um, I am looking for a non multi-level marketing MLM product that will help with my skin. I'm actually doing really well today, but I like from the all of the prednisone and everything, my skin is a nightmare. It's actually kind of rough, almost like a sandpaper, but it's also like through here and down here. Like I guess that's my T-zone. Is that the T-zone? I don't know. I don't know. I'm making shit up as I go along. That sounds good. It's still really oily. And I break out even through here, but it is so dry and cracked that like if I scratch my face, if I have like an itch, it will tear my skin and it will actually bleed. And I scratched my wrist the other day because it itched, and now I have what I call the old lady liver spots. So yeah. So if you have a recommendation for that, that would be great. And those are my questions. That's not to say I won't have questions during the thing, but if I do, I will write them down. This is like I have this ruffle like half off my dress, and I do the other half, but that will require me to like turn the dress around, and I'm wearing that, and I'm not going to undress in front of you because that's just not right. That's not what we do on this channel. We do a lot of strange things on this channel, but that ain't one of them. Okay, so with that, let's talk about my stitching. This month for June, one of my Whip Go pulls is Monopoly. I am doing Monopoly for my son. So hashtag for my child, for my kid. It was hashtag for my daughter, which I'm doing with Denise from Black Ribbon Stitch Studio. But since this project is for my son, I'm going to do for my kid because child is just long. So for the kid, or for my daughter. So if you'd like to join us, what we're doing is she's working on Stationary Addict. I don't remember. Is that by the Fat Quarter Shop? I know it was sold through them. She's doing that for her daughter. And so to make progress on it, because she was kind of feeling a little burned out or whatever, I suggested, let's do a sale. I stitch on stuff for my kids all the time. I've always got a project or two for each one of my kids going. And so that seems to have spurred. It seemed to have helped. And so I'm happy. So this is hashtag for the kid because it's for my son. So WhipGo was for June. One of my pulls was Monopoly. I took this to StitchCon. I got all of the rest of the black squares in. So now I'm going through, and this last week I filled in the blues, and I've been filling in. It's 800, DMC 800. It's like a magenta-y color. It will never show up on the camera the right color because there it looks red, but it is not red. It's kind of a magenta. But then I also, because I was tired of filling in, I started to do the back stitching for the properties. So we have Kazoo Avenue and Recorder Avenue. So that's super cool. In between there is, I think it's a community chest. And I think I'm going to leave it community chest, because that's the Go Square, and the Go Square will be the same. So community chest goes in here. And luxury tax is actually going to be the music store. Our local music store, there's two of them. Excuse me. And one of them is McCourt's. So McCourt's will go here. Instead of income tax. And then this should be a railroad, but for us it will be Carnegie Hall. My son wants me to do like little teeny tiny stitches of each of the instruments. My son apparently is smoking something, because that's not going to happen. Because that is, I mean, look, it's like an inch square. It's not going to happen. Plus, I don't know where I would find a pattern of a kazoo. It's not going to happen. But I do need to find something to represent Carnegie Hall. And I figure if worse comes to worse, I may just do like a grand piano. I know that there's that book of mini motifs for music, and one of them is a little piano. So I need to see if that will fit. So there's that. Okay. So then I also worked on my Courage Cell. This praiseworthy stitches. This is the one that Pam from Just Keep Stitching picked to mark her anniversary date of being diagnosed with breast cancer. Is it 15? Is it 30? 15 years? 20 years? It's been a long time. And so, yay. Picked this up at StitchCon. I started it the Sunday of StitchCon. I am using Pickle from Forbidden Fiber Co. and then Threadworks 11383 are my colors. I am stitching it on Atomic Ranch Clouds, which is an 18 count Ada that I picked up at StitchCon weekend down at Keepsakes. I have decided in looking at the pattern and now stitching on it, I am also going to be adding teal, which is DMC 3849 as my third color. The pattern is only charted in 2 colors. We all know I don't do anything like it's charted, or very rarely. It's so right now I'm stitching up in here. I've got, but then I'm to the point where I can stitch in the Quaker Star. And I was like, do I make it blue? Do I make it green? I made the first. Okay. I am adding in a third color because blue and green are the colors for IH, intracranial hypertension. Teal is the color for sexual assault awareness and for victims or survivors. So I am adding that in as sort of my third color. So my Quaker Stars will be in teal. And this is where I'm at. I love my colors. There. I absolutely love them on this fabric, and I am super happy with that. So it doesn't have a specific time where I work on it. It's kind of whenever the mood strikes me and I feel pulled towards it. The next one that I am working on is a sal with Tina Frazier, and we work on Sundays. We do the Sing a Song Sampler by Silver Creek Samplers. I am not doing any of the called for. Am I going to type up my conversion? Yes, I will. So, but just so you know, it's not a 1-for-1 because every square. So when Silver, they like if it's the symbol is one thing. Okay, if you buy the threads that are called for, it's the same symbol all through all 4 patterns because it's a 4-part series. Mine's not necessarily like that. So when I write up my conversion, just so you know, I will write like block 1. I will draw the symbol and then I will write what I use. So like for me, the upside down triangle, I will do the upside down triangle. For me, that's 310. The dash mark is 321. It's the red that I used. Just so I can't guarantee. The other thing is I have no idea what my DMC number is for my purple because the tag is missing, and the green that I got was a gift to me, and I believe it was dyed by the person who sent it to me. I think I'm just about done using my green that I've used. So I will be able to, if somebody wanted, Stephanie, if you want, I can send you my green that I used. So that's where we're at. So this last week, is it not just absolutely adorable? The other thing is that I changed the runner so that it looks like my son. because this is for another project for my kid, for my son. I worked on law, so I got the rest of the border in, and I got actually the law part done. I have figured out that each block takes me, if I get a good stitching session in, it takes me 2 Sundays, sometimes into a third. So at this rate, I have 2.5 squares left plus the words done. So my anticipation is that by the end of August, at the end, when this is all done though, then I'm going to transfer it into hashtag Sunday stockings. And I will start the kids' stockings. Both of them have I have the patterns, I have the stuff all kitted up and ready to start. Okay, so I did not, as you can see, work on the Addams Family, which was my 52 card whip pickup. I also did not work on Buffet Mat, which is, I can't believe I did this. Only me. My other Whip Go pull for June. I am behind on Whip Go. I will catch it up. I'm not worried. The other thing that I worked on, let me back up a second. The other project that I worked on a lot was I restarted my Stegosaurus sweater. Stego sweater is a test knit that I am doing. So far, I've had to restart it, which is fine. I think it's turning out better this time around. I have learned a new method of casting on. I have learned how to do German short rows, which I'm not quite sure why. Like, what's the purpose of them? And I've learned how to do the color shifting. I am 5 rows done from being done with the first yoke chart, which, all things considered, that's this week's knitting. So that's pretty good, because I was going to restart it and work on it at StitchCon, and I didn't. Or did I restart it before StitchCon and I was going to work on it at StitchCon? Either way, I didn't work on it at StitchCon. This is basically all this week's worth of work. So here's where we're at. So yeah. I think those are supposed to be dinosaur feet prints. At first I thought they were leaves, but now I think they're feet prints from the dinosaur, which would make more sense than leaves, but I don't know. So there we go. So we will keep plugging away at that. I got a little, I was tired last night when I went to go work on it again, and I think I might have messed up the chart, but I think I'm okay enough that I can fudge it and be fine. So Jessie Marie, okay, so that's all of the stitching and crafting I did. Jessie Marie called the July Whip Go numbers. The first thing she called was 13, which is technically the free space, but for me is the periodic table. And then she called number 9, which for me is the Kay and Dennis picture. So I've actually, with all of the floss drops that I got at StitchCon, have been straightening out that bag, which will make the stitching go a lot faster because I won't be going through a pile of floss every time I open the bag and need a color. And then another month of Buffet Mat, which will be good because then we'll see some more progress on it. So that's that. The other thing that I am going to do in July, because I don't have enough going on. Why do I do this to myself? Is the Tour de France with semi-sane stitchers. So what they have done is they've set, like on day 1, the bikers will bike 182 kilometers. So every kilometer equals 1 stitch. So starting on July 1st, that day I would be looking to stitch 182 stitches on a project. I'm going to use my Whip Go pulls for my projects, that and Rosie, because Rosie is my other one that I want to get done and really need to push again. Once the first has started, once it's the 1st of July, so Saturday, you can stitch ahead. You can also make up stitches if you're behind. What I don't know when I need to go on to semi-sane stitchers is to go, like, they designate if it's a green day, which is a sprint day, or if it's a climbing day, which is in red. Does that mean, like, does that mean something special stitch wise other than your just normal stitching? I don't know right now, so I've got to figure that out. But again, I'm gonna use my Whipco pulls and my regular rotation. The other thing, like I did not work on the Addams Family. I didn't even get to pull out the bag this last week with everything going on. So I have just fed that number back into my rotation of cards because I know that I am, especially if I could just get my butt in gear and get my sewing machine set up. I've got in some extra days in my stack. So I'm not overly worried. I'm not worried at all, honestly. But this week's project is the 10 of Hearts. For me, that is Santa's Travels by Barbara Anna. That was a sale that I started when I started all of the sales in 2020. I am, I think, 4.5 blocks out of 9 done. And then I'll have to do the border around it. Do I think I'll get it done this next week? No. Do I hope to make some good progress on it? Sure. That is one that honestly I would like to see get finished this year and get off my WIT list. So yeah. I'm also going to be working on putting the rest of the flosses for Buffet Mat on floss drops and getting that bag organized, which will make it easier for me to go ahead and get stitched. So yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at. Other things this week. I'm going to make I told him before he left that he was supposed to wipe out the refrigerator and he didn't. So when he comes back, he's got to do that. Bean's got to work on finishing her rotation of dishes. Those are actually clean, but whatever. As far as me and what I need to, honestly, I just need to sew. And I know I'm going to see you before the 4th of July, but I decided in all of these retakes and takes of this video, on the 4th of July, I know we're going to barbecue. I've already got steaks and ribs were on sale, so I grabbed those. But I'm going to, I think that the 4th of July is going to be a sewing day. Normally I would say it would be a cross stitch day, and I would work on a patriotic piece. So like maybe Harriet Tubman, but I think that I have enough going on my pile that really I would feel better and calmer with my anxiety about what's on my table and everything. I would feel better if I pulled out my sewing machine and got some stuff done. Bruno is due the middle of July, and his mom has just asked me if I would crochet. His nursery is going to be done in cows. Get along, little doggy. Which I kind of think is adorable, not gonna lie. So she has asked me, she fell in love with the crocheted cow blanket, and we found the pattern last night, so she's purchased that. And so I'm gonna pull that up today in between client meetings and interpreting, and I am going to be working on that too, because why that not? So with that, on my way into court this afternoon, I've got a bunch of stuff that I've got to file. Send prayers that the consult that I had on Friday and the two that I am doing today and tomorrow all retain me. If that happens, my fees on that will essentially be another huge chunk into the down payment of the new house. Have I found a new house? Have I found a house? No. No, I have not. The search continues. Is that okay? Yes, I guess. Though I think Oreo would be a much calmer in the house and less destructive dog if he had a yard to run in. And so, yeah. So I'm also hoping that on the 4th of July, I can take all of the dogs over to my friend's house and let them run in the yard. I can't take them to my mom's because my mom has a dog and Lizzie is, that would probably not go over really well. If my mom and the dog and her dog weren't around, she would let me take my dogs over to her house and run. So I just, to drive all that way. My mom is about 30 minutes south of me. So it's a hike with, and then but it's doable. So yeah. Okay. So I'm going to let you go. I need to get the last little bit of this ruffle off this dress so that I can then head to the office. I need to stop at Walmart apparently and get new sandals because my dog ate mine. The other thing that I did do was cut up some more fabric, the Ada squares, to work on the blocks for Bruno. So yeah, okay, so here's part of my problem is sometimes I'm so tired that I don't have the brain power to pick up a project that I need to really concentrate on, or that is like, so honestly, like right now, the periodic table would be the preferred project because there's not a lot of thinking involved in doing it right now. Problem is like to pull it out, it's so big. If it was, so then it's like, how do you like get comfortable? And I'm terrified now that Oreo is going to be bored and he's going to start eating the end of it. And I'm pretty sure I would completely lose my shit right now if Oreo ate the periodic table and I had to restart it. At that point, I would just sit and cry, and I don't think I would do it. So, with that, though, I am going to let you go. I am going to head to Walmart to get new shoes and then to the office. Oh, duh. Okay. So, before I forget, last week's winner is Jane McTavish. Am I saying that right, Jane? Jane, I'm pretty sure I have your address, but if you wouldn't mind messaging it to me, I will pop this in the mail as soon as possible. Daphne, I have not forgotten your package either. I have got to get to the post office. That will happen this week because as soon as I get the certificate of good standing from my state, I have the emailed copy, but that doesn't count because it says copy on it. Like, I'm waiting for the hard copy in the mail. I get to mail that out to the Supreme Court of the United States to do that fee. And then I also have to mail in my application to sit for the TEP, which is the English proficiency, which apparently I'm not very good at right now, exam that I have to pass in order to take the BEI to be certified interpreter. So in going through and organizing, I realized that I was gifted 2 of these. This was put out by Wonderland Fabric or Dyers. She has a Discord channel. I don't know anything about Discord, not a single thing, other than Bean has started my cat, Houdini. Well, really, it's her cat, Houdini, a Discord channel. So if you are in love with Houdini, or want to follow the antics of Houdini, he has a Discord channel. I don't even know the Discord channel's name. I don't know. So in this booklet, though, is a bunch of the designers who are on that Discord channel have designed like little things, little gimmies, freebies, whatever, patterns. So the pattern's on a different page. So it's a little frog with ribbit. This is like a little, so this is from Pinky the Pink, and they did a, like nursery rhyme, little motifs. Totally cute. How cute is that? Okay. So one of my favorites is actually, and you'll love this one. I think that the dyer, yeah, at Wonderland Hand-Dyed Fabrics. Math is a scam. Counting is hard. That's why I cross stitch. Yep, love that. So if you would like this booklet, I will mail this wherever. You must please be over 18 because I don't know that it's illegal that I get your address, but if nothing else, it's creepy. The fact that you would be a minor, and yeah, I don't want to be that person. So if you could be over 18 or have your parents sign up, that's fine. Please subscribe to my channel. Don't use like the troll words, the troll activating words. So just use the word chat. CHAT, chat. If you would like me to send this to you. The other thing that I am sending out, this is also by Wonderland Fabric hand dyers. I got 2 of these, and while I would love to, like, obviously it's 5 yards of floss. I will, I could use it. I could use 10 yards and just make a bigger project, and that's not a problem. But because she's new um, and because I want to be fair, and I don't know how I ended up with 2. I will be honest with you. I have no idea. It's this beautiful color called Mock Turtle. It's a green. It's not really showing up very well. Maybe right there. That's probably pretty good, honestly. So if you would like Mock Turtle, please use the word turtle to be entered. Again, same rules apply. I will mail this wherever. Just know that obviously my house is a pet-friendly house, although my dogs don't tend to cuddle with my floss or anything like that, thank goodness, because that would be weird. But it is a smoke-free home. I absolutely smoke-free home. So yeah, so other than that, I am hoping to get out the Cricut. Well, the Cricut is, I'm hoping to actually use my Cricut and get the t-shirts and stuff done. And who knows what else? Who knows? So with that, I'm going to let you go because I'm already, kind of running behind. So I will talk to you all soon. If you need me, please message me. I am His Princess Kelly on Instagram, and we will go from there. All right. Have a great week. Bye, y'all.